Hey guys, it's Marta. We finally have some sun. We've had so much rain in the past few days and I was really waiting for planting my bulbs, and today I'll be planting tulips. I hope you will join me. I will show you how you can do it and my best practice when planting them. Let's begin. First thing, the most asked question I get is when do I plant my bulbs? Not only tulips, but also other bulb plants. So the best practice is, I think, to plant them from September until Christmas. But over the years, I've tried planting them in so many different moments to see what the difference is. Sometimes I got questions on my channel that people forgot about their bulbs and they woke up somewhere in January, February, even March. Marta, I found a big bag of my bulbs. What do I do? Do I wait until next year or do I plant them even so late before the blooming of those plants begins? So I dedicated my last 2 years to planting bulbs in different moments of the year. And the best results that I got were when I planted them from the middle of October until the end of November. And I think those were the best ones, but all of them bloomed, even those from September, from December, and even the ones that I planted at the end of February. I also got flowers, but the best ones were from the window middle of October until the end of November. But even those that I also sometimes forget, there is a cupboard, there is somewhere in my gardener's shed, and I find a big bag of bulbs. And of course I plant them. Never wait until next year. They will dry out, they will not be firm. So planting them even late in the season. Of course I do not encourage you to do it, but if you forget something, always put it in the ground. I was so excited for the sun to come out and I can see there are a lot of clouds coming. But next thing is how to choose your bulbs. The most important thing is the bulbs should be big. The bigger the bulb, the better. And of course, when you take the bulb in your hand, it should be firm, it should be shiny and doesn't have any mold on it. This is the most important thing. If you see any bluish, yellowish spots on the bulb, just discard it. I've tried so many times. There was just one tiny spot and I was like, I will put it in the ground, everything will be fine. And it wasn't. The growth was stunted, the leaves were curly, the plants were not healthy, so I don't do that anymore. If I see a bulb that has this, I will just discard it, and I urge you to do it too. But maybe you're like me, always an optimist, always hoping for the best. But sometimes this is gardening. You try and you see that it doesn't really work. You will probably ask, what are you going to plant here? What varieties of tulips are gonna shine here in spring? So last year we were in the Netherlands on the tulip fields, and I was looking at all of those varieties, and two combined really caught my eye. One is called Salmon van Eyck and another is called Polskerer. Salmon van Eyck is a tulip that is quite tall. It is pink mixed with salmon, so you will get those slight orangey pinks, which I absolutely love. And Polskerer is almost black tulip, and those two paired together, for me, that was pure elegance. I really loved that, and I really want this to happen here in spring. I'm also planning to shear a bit of my Russian sedge, so it will be a bit shorter because I need to get to the back of this border. I want to plant, I think, maybe 3, maybe 5 of alliums, and I'm thinking either Globemaster or Ambassador, and I'm leaning towards the Ambassador ones. And here above the tulips I want to have some crocus, so the bees will be really happy in early spring. They will get the nectar, and I will be very happy because in March I'll be seeing some blooms just in the front border. So what are the fastest ways to put your bulbs in the ground? There are a few ways you can do it. This is the fastest one, but let's talk about the slow ones. The first way that I used to do when I'm planting a lot of bulbs, I would take 10 centimeters of soil from the border that I want to plant my bulbs in. So it would be like meter by meter. I would take 10 centimeters of soil, put it away, put the bulbs in the ground, and then put the soil back. But this takes a lot of digging, but when I was doing a new border, this way, until I met the auger, was the faster way than doing it by hand. Then you have the bulb planters. You can have the short ones or the bigger ones that you push your leg to make the hole, and those were the ones that I really loved. The longer ones I loved more, because with the handheld one your wrist is like really working hard, so I like this for my spine. I like the leg operated one. But then I met the auger. The auger is just this type of thing that you put on your DeWalt or other one that you have. What is this called in English? Power drill, this is the name. So I started using this 2 years ago. This was such a game changer, because when I was planting by my, let's say, leg or hand, I would do like 200 bulbs a day, and I felt my wrist, I felt my leg, everything. And with this, I plant 400 bulbs in 2 hours. So that is so fast and so efficient that this method is my favorite. And I'm really not using a huge drill for that. This one is perfect for tulips. As you can see, it's been well loved and used last year. I've planted, I think, 800 bulbs, and I did it in, I think, 3 days. One day I planted 400, one day I planted 200. That was like, no, I planted more. I think it was 1,000 bulbs. Again, I always think I do less, but then I know that planting them in big numbers always gives so much impact in spring. So this is the smaller drill, and this one is the bigger one. You can use it also for your tiny plugs with your plants, not only the bulbs. And I think this is such an efficient way of working in the garden. I'm also looking for the longer ones. I couldn't find them. I've had those for 3 years. I bought them on Amazon. I will put some links in the description for you if I find the same ones. But I'm looking for the longer ones. This is a new thing in my country, so I've been searching first on Amazon, but now there more and more are appearing on our website. So I'm really happy, because the less work, the more effect. I'm always the happiest. The last thing before I start working is fertilizing the border for your bulbs. They say it's not, you don't need to fertilize because the bulb has everything it needs to bloom. But I do fertilize with the fall fertilizer within the border, and also using, it's called basalt rock dust. This is a wonderful natural material from volcanic rock, and it gives a lot of good things to your soil. And you can also sprinkle it on your bulbs to prevent fungal diseases. Also, I've heard, I have not used it, to use chili powder to sprinkle on your bulbs, so all of those mice and squirrels do not eat your bulbs. So that is also a thing I only read. I've never tried it. Let me know if you tried it and if it worked. Okay, now it's time to work. I'm going for my kneeler, some gloves, and we'll start working. Before I start planting any bulbs, I always throw them on my border, and I like to see how they look. If I'm using 2 colors, like here, I will mingle them together, so there is no pattern. I like to see them as they would grow in nature, in abundance, of course. So I'm putting them a bit closer than they should be. So it's around 5 centimeters from each bulb. On the package it says 10 centimeters. I like to make it more dense. And I'm trying to mix the colors, and I don't do it in the same pattern. So I will just put 1 here, 2 there, so it looks very natural. And when I see and I like it, then I start drilling one hole by one hole, then I put my bulb. If you're putting a bulb in the ground, always remember the tip is on the top, this is the bottom, this is where the roots will grow. And I'm putting it 10 centimeters below the ground, so 10 centimeters will be the bottom of my bulb. But if you put it a bit deeper or a bit more shallow, do not worry. It's just when you put them too shallow, then they might go up. And if you have some, mice or some kind of animals, they sometimes push the bulbs up. So it's always better to plant them a bit deeper. Okay, enough talking. Time to start digging our holes. This is really, really fast. Look, we're just drilling, then putting our bulb inside, covering with soil, press it gently, and then another, and then another. Okay, all is done. That was really, really fast. Wonderful. Now I need to put some of my crocus here, and I want to plant 3 bulbs of my alliums, but I was thinking about ambassadors, and those bulbs are really huge. So I'm not sure if this will be enough, and I don't have a bigger one. I need to buy one more. Look at those bulbs. Those are really, really huge. These are allium ambassadors. They are incredible alliums. They bloom in June, so they are very late blooming alliums. Huge bulbs, beautiful purple flowers, late flowering. And I also have pickwick crocus, my favorite. It is a large crocus, white and purple, beautiful. The inside is orange. And I just love them. They are my favorite. So I want always to have more and more of them in my garden. I will be planting some of them here, I would say 3-5 centimeters underground. Those bulbs are quite big for crocus. So this will be, sorry. Sorry, I'm a bit allergic to dust. So when I'm planting, I'm always feeling a bit dizzy. So I'll be planting the crocus, but first I want to take care of the alliums. We'll see if this drill will be big enough. I don't think so. When I look at this will be, I would have to do like 3 of the holes to plant it. Yeah, and it's not, I think, deep enough. This is not an easy task because, as you can see, it's very, very tight. So when planting this bulb, remember to put this part with the roots down and this tip up, and try digging a hole that is 3 times deep as the bulb. So I think I will be only able to dig twice the size of the bulb, the height, but it's also fine, but not less. Just remember that, and then just cover it with soil. And try finding easier places than I did. But I think it will look very pretty. So these are my crocus bulbs. These are quite big for crocus. Usually you will see they might be even half a size smaller. So when planting crocus, especially with this border, I've had it so fluffed up with this drill. So the soil is very, very fluffy, very easy to plant in. I'm using a dibber, and because this will need to just make a hole this size, and I put the dibber in the soil. As it is so fluffy, it's very, very easy. And I put 1 bulb here. You can do the same. So if you want to plant them, you just throw them like this. So it looks pretty natural. Some places will have more of them, some less. But I think it will look beautiful in spring, in March, when the bees come. They are quite sleepy after this the winter. and they are looking for the first flowers. And if you plant crocus, they will find them in your garden. So this is a very good thing to do for pollinators. Okay guys, so now it's me and my dibber, and I'll be planting all of those crocus. Please let me know in the comments, what are you planting? Have you planted a lot of bulbs this year, or you're just starting? Let me know what varieties you chose of tulips, of all the bulbs. Let me know. I'm always eager to listen to others, to know what kind of compositions they are creating. I really love that about the bulbs, that you can have an idea in your head, then plant some bulbs, and then you have to wait for a few months, and in spring you see how did your creation appear. And I really love that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but for me, this is the art of gardening: planting bulbs, having some schemes in your head, and then seeing the results. So I'm really waiting for March to come. Then I will see my Pickwick crocus. Then in May I'll see my tulips. That will be Polskerer and Salmon van Eyck. And then in June I'll be enjoying my Alliums ambassadors. So really waiting for that. If you liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.